Hello, everybody. My name's James. Welcome to another Planet FPL Clash of the Correspondents. And for our correspondents this week, a double game week ahead for both of them. But firstly, not the scheduled Clash of the Correspondents, as Matt, our Southampton correspondent, will confirm. Our Arsenal correspondent, Adam Pritchard, sent us a message on Saturday evening wishing to be removed from Clash of the Correspondents due to Arsenal's bad results against Palace and Brighton. We joked about it. Unfortunately, Adam is quite unwell. Adam, I know you'll be listening, mate. I wish you well. Deep down, we know you've bottled it, but get well soon, mate. Instead, standing into his place at stupidly short notice, thank you very much, to our Burnley correspondent, Jack Toner. How are you, Jack?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good man. And Matt Samuel, our Southampton correspondent, is in. How are you, Matt?
Yeah, all good, thanks.
Should we talk about Arsenal, guys?
Why not?
Please, let's do.
Better than our club, surely.
So what we did, obviously, is quite convenient for Adam to go sick this week of all weeks because Jack was obviously due to play your team anyway, Matt. So it was the obvious one to stand in. So we've got Matt, you've tried to bottle it because you lost 6-0 to Chelsea. Yep. Adam's bottled it because Arsenal had 2 bad results. So we got the guy on who's just lost to Norwich instead. Jack.
It's cheaper than a counselling session, isn't it?
A little bit, mate. Yeah. How deflating was that on Sunday?
I mean, the other way around, and you'd have been thinking, but not to Norwich. Just so, no disrespect to Norwich, but it's a case of, you have to go there and pick up the 3 points. And that's been my criticism of us these last 2 years. It's a case of, I just put it down to COVID last year, but we didn't get a rhythm. You think one good result's never backed up by another. And it's just been the same again this weekend, which is just so frustrating because that would have been a step in the right direction. And then obviously Everton picking up points at United. Not ideal.
The feeling around the club must have kind of swept very differently. The fact that you're obviously sitting there losing 2-1 at home to Everton last week and you think, this is it, isn't it? Yeah, if you come out of this having lost as bad as Everton have been, you pull it round, surely you leave the ground euphoric. And yet I had the feeling you would lose at Norwich, mate. And I don't know what that says in terms of my expectations of you, and particularly in terms of scoring goals.
I didn't. I had a bit more confidence after the Everton result, and I sort of went through every emotion, and it was even better to have we didn't just nick a 1-0 win against Everton. I thought the penalties were unfortunate. I think that they're hard to defend against. I mean, Everton had plenty of other chances, let it be said, but other than that, I thought we played pretty well. It was a good performance to come from behind. So yeah, I thought, why not? At this point in the season, if you can't carry that result into Norwich, then you've got no hope, have you? So then obviously that came, and yeah, just so frustrating. We've just not been good enough against the teams around us. Again, Norwich have taken 4 points off us this season. I doubt they've taken 4 points off any other side. I might be wrong. But yeah, just I honestly thought we'd turn the corner again on Wednesday. To lose to Norwich is one thing, but then obviously for Everton to pick up points, it's just such a hammer blow.
Okay, Matt. Yeah, to your team at the weekend, mate. Well, actually, what's been happening since the last time you came on Clash of the Correspondents and had lost like 1 in 10, and everybody was lauding you as being absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Since then, you've conceded 15 in 5 and not 1, which culminated in an absolute shellacking by Chelsea at the weekend. What happened, mate?
Got it horribly wrong. I mean, we know that Chelsea play with width, don't we? And we decided to go 2 up top, 4 at the back. Within the first 2-3 minutes, I think Werner had hit the post and the bar. It was one of those games. Changed formation 3 times in the game. Still didn't make a difference. It could have been easily that, magic 9, no problem at all.
I wasn't going to mention it, mate.
It could have been, and it should have been. Honestly, it was worse than those 2 results because we had 11 men on the pitch.
Was you at the game? I take it.
Yeah,
weekend. Yeah. Are you sitting there at 6-0 thinking again?
Yep. 100%. And it wasn't until they started taking the likes of Mount off, we thought, okay, they're taking the foot off the gas. Obviously, Silva went off early. Mount went off, resting up for the Champions League. And yeah, they almost did it thanks to us.
So what happened then going back a few weeks? You lost 4-0 at Villa, which at the time, I wouldn't say losing at Villa's, I wouldn't call it a shock. But the fact that you got battered 4-0 at the time was a real shock.
Yep.
And since then, the results have obviously been bad. Did that game just shoot you for confidence? Or was it something that was there before that we didn't know?
genuinely think it did. I mean, obviously we had the West Ham Cup game before that, played exceptionally well with a rotated squad that obviously myself, yourself questioned, and we spoke about that on the last pod. Yeah, that Villa result just took the wind out of ourselves, no problem. It was, I guess, it was the quick goals, the way that we conceded them, the sloppiness seems to be coming into our play, and it's frustrating because obviously we were doing so well. Yeah, we were safe, and I say that now. If we keep losing and a couple of teams pick up the results, yeah, I don't even want to go there. But it's not good, and it's almost like they've just taken the foot off the gas again, which is incredibly frustrating as a fan.
I think with the fixtures you've got left, Matt, there's no concern, and 36 points may well even prove to be enough. I mean, do you think you'll hit that total, Jack?
Probably not. No.
Okay, right. That answers that one. Are you on the beach then, though, Matt?
Yeah, it just feels that way. The only player I think that genuinely cared on Saturday was Kyle Walker-Peters.
Okay. Why is that then?
I just can't put my finger on it. Like Salisu, obviously I've been praising him. He was at fault for at least 2 of the goals. There was a moment Bednarak and Salisu were arguing in the box after conceding the 5th. It was quite obvious in the squad that they were making mistakes. Even Prowse wasn't great. You know, some of the passes he was trying to play were going astray, and that's not him at all. So it was, it's just odd. And I think between the team not particularly caring because there's nothing to play for, and Ralph, I guess maybe just getting things wrong the last few weeks, it's not helped.
Ironically, if Adam had been here, you'd have cheered him up, mate.
Yeah, I think so.
You'd have given belief that his team was going to win at the weekend, I think. Jack, you're 4 points adrift of Everton. Can you do it?
Yeah, I think we can. We can, not to say we will. There's a lot. If it had been any other team other than Everton with that running, I would have been a lot more confident. But just the fact that they've never been down, not to say that I trust Lampard to do a good job with them. But I watched the game on TV against West Ham, and they had chances. They just didn't take them. Against us, they created enough chances. I thought Richarlison was superb, hit the post. He could have walked over the match ball on another night. I just think they've probably got enough to nick points in games where you probably wouldn't expect other teams to do that. But we still have a better run. And I've said it before, we've been shite against the teams around us for the past 2 years now. I'd trust us to pick up points against a Southampton or a Wolves or even a West Ham, sort of, not to say we'll win them all, but I'd be more confident with how we set up for those games. I don't know what it is, but we just seem to set up completely differently, and we go out on the front foot, and we have more success, really. I don't know how.
It's certainly worth saying, Jack, your fixture run that you've got left is good, right? There are games in there that can definitely be won. Your 4 home games you got left: Southampton, Wolves, Villa, Newcastle. You've also got Villa away. You've got Watford away, who've got the worst home record in the league. West Ham away on Sunday, who might have their eyes completely elsewhere. And Tottenham in 37. I'm hoping by the time that we play you, we've got nothing to play for because we've wrapped up 4th, hopefully. So, there's definitely points that you can get games in there, mate.
Yeah, and, I trust Dyche to keep the players, spirits up and sort of the morale. But you've got to start running out of games again. We've just got to pick up those points. But yeah, I think sort of the Wolves at home fixture, that'll be a good gauge that if we've got no reaction after Norwich with that, then there really is less and less hope with each game going on.
Yeah, I think my real concern for you is the home games Everton have got left as well, which is obviously starts with Leicester next Wednesday before you two play each other next Thursday. They've still got Brentford at home and Palace at home. Palace might even be after an FA Cup final potentially. And I can see them getting the results in there. They've also got to go to Watford away as well, although they don't look like they can do anything on the road. But the rest of their fixtures are pretty tough, Everton. But I think if they do the business in those home games, they'll do enough, I think. Do you think, Jack, anyone else is involved in this? Or is this just a straight shootout now between you and Everton?
I think with the way we've both been playing, I think it probably is between us and Everton because I don't see us picking up enough points to drag anyone else in there. That being said, I don't think Leeds will be as comfortable as what they, potentially should be. I think we should be powering the pressure a lot more. That being said, I just can't see it. I can't see fireworks from both us and Everton between now and the end of the season.
Leeds are on 33 points now. Obviously, you've got 2 games before they play again. In fact, 3 games before they play again. So, I mean, in theory, if you won them all, you'd be level on points with them, wouldn't you? Having them played a game more. But their fixtures, their next 4 when they do play from that Monday night against Palace, then Palace away, City at home, Arsenal away, Chelsea at home. It's certainly conceivable, although they've picked up quite a bit, that they could get none from those 4 and be sitting on 33 points from 36 played, ahead of playing Brighton and Brentford, their last 2. So I mean, there's a case they might still be involved, but I think they'll get enough. In all honesty, Jack, what do you think about Watford and Norwich? Gone for them?
I think it's a big ask. But then, if we're not writing us off, then why are we writing them off?
Your fixtures are a lot better, mate.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look behind me because at this stage of the game, it's a case of we just got to beat what's in front of us. So if Watford or Norwich was to overtake us, then we really are doomed. I genuinely don't know.
How do you see it, Matt?
I think Watford and Norwich are down. Had that result against Leeds gone the other way, I think there'd be a lot more questions to be asked there. But no, I think Norwich and Watford are done, and it's definitely between. I still think Leeds could be dragged into it, given the fixtures. But yeah, it's probably between Burnley and Everton.
How many points now do you think, Jack? What do you think you need to stay up?
35, maybe. 36.
That's you safe, Matt. You can go.
Well, see you later.
I mean, the way I say it, when we say about, like Wolves and West Ham and Southampton, we've played Norwich, Watford, Everton, Leeds, Newcastle. We've only got 1 win out of all them, home and away. We've got 1 win.
The Everton win the other week, last Wednesday, is the only one you've won down there against the teams in the bottom, I want to say 6 or 7. What was the score at St Mary's when you played each other?
2-2.
Yeah. You didn't win at St James's, did you, Jack?
No.
I know you've obviously got them last day.
Yeah.
Brentford, you beat at home. That's the only one. Brentford are 13th now.
Yeah.
Brentford are on 36. They've put a run of results together that now looks like they've got them safe, and they look like they're playing well, in fairness. The positive of that is they may well go to Watford and win at the weekend, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to need, we discussed it, probably 5 wins or so, wasn't it, when we spoke to you a couple of weeks ago? I don't think that's changed. You've got eight games to go. You probably need to win half of them.
Yeah, I don't think it's over in the fact that, it wasn't a case of if we'd have beat Norwich, we'd have been safe. It's just a case of that was the one that you pick and say that was the one you'd want as a supporter to win. But then, we were away from home. Norwich have, probably got that bit more of, freedom and confidence of they've not really got anything to lose at this stage because they've been in that position long enough. So yeah, I think it's a lot to ask to sometimes go and just pick up an easy 3 points, but it's one where you really should be picking up points.
There's been a lot of focus in terms of lack of goals, but actually lack of clean sheets as well, Jack, right? Last clean sheet was Watford at home, which was the first game after the January international break.
Yeah.
No clean sheets since then. You've played what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 11 games since. No clean sheets. That feels very unlike you.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, I lied. There's 1 clean sheet in there, Brighton away. So
yeah, I'm not too bothered because we've picked up a couple of points in the midst of some of those. It's just I'm not bothered about clean sheets at this stage of the season. I expect us to, like Everton at home, not bothered about not keeping a clean sheet. We just had to win the game. If that means we come out and play more aggressive, then I'm fine with that. But you've got to. It's easy said than done, but you've got to be better at one end than the other, and we just haven't been. So I think it's a combination of both, as you say.
You conceded 8 less goals overall than Southampton, your opponents, next Thursday. Is that still your Achilles heel, Matt?
Yeah.
Defensively, because
Yeah.
we did kind of praise the likes of Salisu when we last spoke. I'm thinking about the errors he made against Watford at home as well. Was another really off, particularly first half performance. Is it a case of that area of the team still needs mass strengthening?
100%. Yeah, it's 15 goals in the last 5. It's not good enough. Defensively, I think it's centre back. I know Lianco's coming back to fitness. Whether he gets brought into the team at the weekend, he might well do. But yeah, we 100% need to strengthen there in the summer because centrally we're just not good enough.
Am I right in saying he really opens up the possibility for you to play a back 3?
Yeah.
So he'll potentially play at the centre of that, won't he?
Yeah. And he's been brilliant in some of the cup games that I've seen him.
Do you think that's the way you could go?
I wouldn't be surprised if we try it, given, as we said, we haven't really got a lot to play for. I think he tried to go there slightly at the weekend against Chelsea, but by then the game was dead anyway. And yeah, we changed formation 3 times, which was odd. But I would not be surprised to see us try with a back 3. Salisu, Bednarak and Lianco when fit. The
other name that was obviously an absence at the weekend against Chelsea was Suj's mate, Broja, the points dodger, who, to be honest, he hasn't done anything since scoring against Tottenham in Gameweek 24. And
nope.
What I've seen from my team since, that really does feel like a lifetime ago. But him coming back in and make a difference, wouldn't
it? You'd hope so. Adam Armstrong, I guess could be similar to Che Adams. Like, Che's been brilliant this season. The first season that he came, he wasn't particularly great, and it's taken him a while to adapt. And I think it's very similar with Adam Armstrong. It was quite obvious at the weekend. But yeah, I'd be amazed if it's not Broja and Adams again.
Got a good question for both of you. How many Premier League goals has Broja scored this season?
6.
Yeah, he's spot on, Jack.
There you go.
God, it feels like more, but obviously not recently. I've got to keep him this week, though, haven't I, Matt?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it is price you get rid.
Jack, am I keeping Weghorst?
Speaking of Broja, the point dodger, Weghorst, the point dodger.
Yeah. Well, I've got the pair of them.
I'm tempted
moving on, Emmanuel Dennis has not done much for my life, I've got to be honest.
I'm tempted to sell from my point of view, just because it pisses me off that when he, not only do we lose and it ruins my Saturday, he also fucks up my fantasy football team as well. But no, I expect us to have at least some reaction, and we need to start picking up points and scoring goals. There's a bit of a risk in terms of rotation, whether he does get dropped, but I still think it's early days. If you've got him for a double game week, I reckon he plays 90 minutes across the 2. So
wait, he's not been playing 90 minutes recently, is he? Obviously came off pre the hour against Norwich, and Dyche's comments were a little bit concerning, but I also read it as a little bit of a motivational tool. I felt, as in, like, we need you to be a bit more selfish. He was talking about him doing, bringing others into the play and stuff like that, and he's looking for him to be a bit more selfish, isn't he?
I think he's probably looking to stay in the box a little bit more, but I think that's a discussion between them two. I think when we're playing 4-4-2, I think it's a lot to ask a big 6'6" striker to hang on the last man for 90 minutes of a game, because with the way we play, he's not going to get involved. So I think he's right to come and drop in deep. I heard you mention it on the podcast on Monday with Lowton. I think with his early delivery, with him coming back in the side, is probably a plus. That being said, Lowton did have a shite game against Norwich, but it's his first start since, I think it was like early January, so it's not expected of him to come in and hit the ground running. I think for now he's a hold. I wouldn't necessarily encourage anyone to go and buy unless you haven't already.
I don't think anyone's going to, Jack, in all honesty.
No. But yeah, I think I'll be holding.
Do you like him? Just remove fantasy for a minute.
I've not seen enough from him to think, wow, he looks dangerous. I think if he'd have come from the youth team, you wouldn't have been saying, wow, look at this amazing striker. I think he's attractive in thinking the way we play, a 6'6" striker, you expect him to be a nuisance, and I've not seen too much of him being a nuisance. But then I can't really turn around and criticise him because, Lennon's crossing's not great. McNeil's delivery is much better, but Lennon's been a much better, he's in better form than
Lennon's been playing well, yeah.
Yeah, you can't drop him. But in terms of the delivery, I don't think his delivery's been the best for
ever.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
So yeah, I think it's hard. I can't think of many times where I think, wow, we should have buried that. But then I suppose it goes back to the likes of someone like Cornet, who, how many goals has he scored out of nothing, this season, where the easiest goal he could have scored, but he put wide, didn't he, on Sunday? We just need to make it happen.
It did feel like Weghorst was quite interesting at the start, as part why we got involved. He was a real handful in the draw against Manchester United, and I know the conditions were a bit mad.
Yeah.
He gave Liverpool a presence and a problem in the following game. He then scored and assisted at Brighton. The goal at Brighton was a great finish. It wasn't an aerial back post. It was a brilliant reverse ball into him that he slid home. He was a nuisance against us. I didn't think he was overly threatening, but he was a nuisance. You know that if in position and getting on the back of someone, he was going to be a danger.
Yeah.
Since then, it feels like we've seen next to nothing from an attacking perspective. But I'm not sure. I see a lot of people moving to say Chris Wood and stuff like that. I mean, you obviously know Chris Wood really well, Jack. I mean, is that the sort of move you'd consider? Wood's statistics aren't that much better than Weghorst. Yeah,
I think it's perhaps just they probably create more chances for him. I think it just looks bleak at the minute for us with chances created. If people are just tuning into the highlights, that you could manage to have a highlight reel that doesn't even involve him at all at the minute. There's definitely more to get out of him. There is a player in there somewhere, but I think we need to utilize him better. Whether that's through coaching tactically or whatever. I think the thing at the minute is we've always had such a settled side, and Dyche always knows what his strongest side is. I think there's been many a times over the past 7-8 years where Dyche has persevered with a side that's probably not played well, but that he's made the decision to stand by his players. Whereas this season, it's Rodriguez is in, then he's out, and now we're changing it right back. And it's almost like we don't know our strongest side. And I don't think Rodriguez works well off of Weghorst. I think as soon as Vidra comes on, I think having that extra body to stretch the defense, you don't know, if we're going to play a long ball, do you mark the 6'6" man, or do you go with the runner? I think that asks more questions of a defense. But then I think it's been harsh for Rodriguez to be dropped, because I think his performances has been as good, if not better, than Weghorst as well. So
Sunday would feel like an odd time to take him out, though, Weghorst. I mean,
I think
because
so.
of the height that West Ham have got, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're probably seeing Dyche being a little bit more ready for the change. I think if it gets to 50 minutes and it's not working, I think we'll see the introduction of Vidra. But he's another one who struggled on and off with bits of fitness through lack of game time. I don't see the answer being chucking Vidra in and starting him for a full 90. I don't know if he's got that in him. So I still think Weghorst starts at the weekend.
Matt, are you a Weghorst owner?
No.
Are you grateful?
Yep.
I mean, I've still got him, and I don't think I can look at it. I mean, you just conceded 6, Matt. I'm not sure, particularly if West Ham win on Thursday, I'm not sure they're going to have any interest, particularly in the Sunday. I mean, they could go to extra time or something. I don't want to leave him out. It feels, I'm not sure what's more suicidal, keeping him and starting him or benching him. But I think I've got to start him, haven't I? That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's probably last chance saloon for
I'm definitely benching him against Wolves in 34 if I haven't wild carded. I mean, he might force me into wild carding, to be honest, Jack. But yeah, I don't intend to start him that fixture, but I've got other players returning who have got good fixtures and stuff. If you were free hitting this week, Jack, would you consider any of that front three at all for a moment?
Yeah, I think from a logical point of view, obviously I'm still emotions running high from the weekend. I think I've just said it before. We play much better against a side who's going to come and give us more of a game. I expect us to be up for them both. So, yeah, I probably would keep him on a free hit.
It's interesting, Matt, that I wouldn't consider benching Broja for a second.
No,
and yet them numbers ain't clever either.
No,
and there's not a guarantee that he comes back into the team, although there's obviously not a guarantee that Weghorst starts. But I see feels like a little bit of a growing trend for Che Adams. I'm seeing in free hit teams. Can you make a case for that?
Yeah, I think out of the two, he's the one that appears in the box a lot more. You'll see, having watched Broja, he's out wide a lot he likes to link up with the likes of Livramento, Walker-Peters out wide and then try and make his way into the box. Picks up the ball early, whereas Che's always the one that's making that late run. He's the one challenging for the headers from the crosses. I think out of the two, you're probably more likely to get the returns from Che than you are Broja over the double. It's just whether he's worth the extra. Is it 1.3 mil or something now? I'm not so sure.
Do you think it's a consideration for people who are not free hitting to consider going from Weghorst to Adams, which might sideways-ish, but after the double, Brighton, Palace, Brentford.
Yeah.
I've got you top of the next 4 fixtures on my fixture ticker. It's just a shame you're on the sand, mate.
If you don't have the wild card in hand and you have 2 free transfers, I wouldn't be against it, given he's going to be held until at least 37 when it's Liverpool at home. And obviously we've got that Leicester fixture to end. Who knows if, their sole focus will be in Europa League. So there's very good fixtures there. And we always give Liverpool a good game. So if you're going to hold Adams to the end, I wouldn't be putting people off of it.
Yeah, those who are chipless and perhaps looking to free hit 37 especially. Once you remove that Liverpool fixture out, Southampton's run looks absolutely great. Now, of course, in 36, it's no double for you, Matt. But then if you're not bench boosting, you can bench him right away to Brentford. So it's a good run. But then in that case, it goes back to your point, doesn't it? Is he worth paying the extra over Broja?
Yeah, I think they're probably going to play similar minutes. Broja is always the one that maybe comes off 10, 15 minutes towards the end if we're chasing a game. But yeah, if you're short of cash, I'd go Broja over Che. I just think Che might end up getting, say, 5-10 more points than him between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, but then at Broja's price, you can always be benching him and stuff if you want to, can't you? Yeah. Broja at the moment, no thought not to start him in the double, actually, which I think psychologically is interesting because I think Burnley might even get more points than you over the next week or so. But yeah, 34 fixture at Brighton is okay as well. How's your record against them? Well, I've got something in my head telling me that it's good.
It's not too bad. I think the home game, they obviously scored very late, which was frustrating. Yeah, it was 95th minute or something. But yeah, I think we generally play quite well against Brighton.
I feel like you've won at the Amex the last few years. Yeah. What's happened to Adam Armstrong? Blitzed it in the Championship last year.
He gets pushed off the ball very easily. And obviously the Championship's slightly different to the Premier League, but yeah, he struggles against the big defenders. And the way that we play, I'm not so sure it suits him. We don't tend to play the ball in behind quickly. And obviously he's renowned for that previously, getting in behind. That's where he got a lot of his goals for. But it's maybe just going to take him a season or so to bed in. And it was interesting I say 4 or 5 weeks ago, Shane Long was coming on ahead of him.
Yep.
Now that says a lot. So I'm just not sure that Ralph trusts him enough. And obviously he was taken off after 45 minutes at the weekend. I don't think we should have gone with 2 up front anyway. But yeah, he was obviously the one brought off and Adam stayed on. So it's been a shame because I had real high hopes for him. But yeah, I've got to give him a chance. And, Che's done the same. So hopefully maybe next season he might be more of a focal point.
If I said to you, Matt, one Southampton player on a free hit this week, who would you go with?
Prowse.
I was almost certain you were going to say that.
Yep.
Is that an obvious go-to?
I think it could be, any game, any time. Put him within 30 yards with a free kick. Yeah, you can put it top bins. And he, as well as his free kicks, he's a creator. He always likes to try and pick out a pass. And yeah, out of all of them, he's going to play both games. Going to be 90 minutes aside from injury. I think there's a risk with a lot of the others in terms of positionally. We have options. I don't think we've got anybody that can cover Prowse.
He's a guaranteed 4 points at the worst, isn't he?
Yeah.
Unless obviously he was to get injured in the first game. So it couldn't be anybody that was more certain to play 2 games. Yeah. Even I think from Burnley squad, you've got some people back fit now, Jack, haven't you, in terms of like Jack Cork and stuff. I suppose Brownhill and Westwood would be, I don't want to say it, but nailed.
I think so. Brownhill's not had a great season at all, in my opinion. I think he's been very, very substandard. Yeah.
I thought, honestly, when I come up to your place a couple of weeks ago, I thought he was best player on the pitch by a distance.
Yeah, I've not been not been his fan. I'd rather go Brownhill and Cork, to be honest.
Oh, did you say Westwood? So I thought you said
Sorry,
about
I might have said Brownhill. Yeah, I meant
I was
Westwood.
going to say, I think Brownhill's been great.
Yeah. Brownhill has really stepped it up. I think he's looked the best of the three. But Westwood's just been he plays the same ball every time, and unless Vidra's on the end of it, if it's Weghorst, it just doesn't work. And it's the case of we shouldn't have to build our strike force around one player's pass, but it just feels that way. It's just been so frustrating to watch. It was no coincidence that Jack Toner played 2 games and we started 2 games and we won them both, and then he got dropped. And that again for me just says that Dyche doesn't do that. So I don't know what's going on with his selections at times recently. Not wholesale change, just the odd one player where you think, oh, why is he in the lineup?
Have you got any questions on Dyche at the moment?
No, there's been a few people asking the question of saying Dyche out. He's been so successful, but with that, obviously, there does come problems. The day that we get rid of him, he's too important to us. So even if we were to get rid of him, I don't think we'd be better off. Not that makes it right, but if we were to go down, I think if he wants to stay around, he's the best man to get us back up. So
yeah, I completely agree with that, mate. Yeah, I'd be very concerned for you if you left. We've discussed that a number of times in the past. I guess Maxwell Cornet's the midfielder to consider if you're going to go in. Potential OOP, obviously. What's your thoughts on him? Does he look fit at the moment, Jack?
Yeah, he does look quite fit. He looks sharp. I think he sort of does suit us on the wing. I think that's his best position. Obviously, he played really well and got some good goals in his first sort of couple of months at the club. But I don't think his numbers were ever that sustainable. His conversion rate was really high. Not to say he's not capable of it, but I think it was just a case of he took whatever chances he got. And like obviously the strike against Southampton, I think it was the header was one of the easiest ones he scored. All the others were like absolute rockets. So yeah, he's a player. He looks probably not as sharp as what he did when he first came, but he's sort of getting back up to that again after going to AFCON.
And Jack makes a great point, doesn't he, Matt? He scored twice against you already this season. 4
as apart, yeah.
Am I right in saying Broja scored in that fixture as well?
Yeah.
There is some hope for us. Weghorst, we can't blame because he wasn't at the club at the time. Matt, any love for Elyounoussi or Stuart Armstrong for free hitters?
Elyounoussi.
If you're short of the Ward-Prowse cash,
probably not. I think they're both at risk. Elyounoussi obviously made his way back into the team. Out of the 2, I prefer Stuart Armstrong. But yeah, even then, I think I wouldn't be surprised if neither of them played twice.
Defensively, is this ridiculous after the weekend?
Yeah, I've got Livramento and I've had him, most of the season. I'm worried that he doesn't play twice. We've obviously got Perrault there. Walker-Peters out of the 2 has looked the better of the 2. And I'd not be surprised even at the weekend if Perrault comes in.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be paying 4.8 for Walker-Peters if you're free hitting. I mean, if you want to go down that route, you probably do go Livramento, don't you?
Yeah, it's a risk.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard every goalkeeper that's got a double, including obviously yours, Jack, mentioned this week, but not Fraser Forster.
No, I mean, obviously, 8 saves at the weekend, still conceded 6.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. It was a little bit unlucky, actually. How many points did he get at the weekend? He's still got a 1-pointer and a 6-0 defeat. Yeah. That's cracking. How many saves?
8.
Bloody hell, mate.
I mean, there's a reason Chelsea only
in the bonus. I'm joking.
Yeah, I would have given him it, honestly.
I presume he was your best player, mate.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you see him staying in goal for the rest of the season now?
Yeah.
Because McCarthy's back fit, isn't he? He's very close.
Yeah, I think obviously last season we flip-flopped between the 2 of them. One got 2 games, the next got 2 games. I don't think we'll do that now.
I mean, that was so weird, but I don't think it's beyond him to do it again. Nick Pope, Jack, the points aren't there at the moment. Is he worth the money for free hitters? Because I feel like if affordable and you want to go Burnley defensive, you still ideally go for Pope, don't you?
Yeah, I think whenever we win or whenever we pick up points, it's usually with being solid at the back. It's just whether you back us to sort of be successful in these next couple. I expect a reaction. I expect us to be better than what we were against Norwich. I wouldn't talk anyone out of it, but I think it would be probably just Pope. I wouldn't really be in a rush to look at many of the other defenders.
Connor Roberts, where we at? Is that place gone, is it?
There's one of your Patreons actually in the Burnley chat.
He's been constantly on your case.
Been saying for weeks, he's like, "Oh, is Robert still going to be in for my bench boost?" And then he got dropped last. He's been absolutely gutted, bless him. Although Lowton didn't play well, I still think Lowton keeps the shirt, but I wouldn't put it past him to go back.
Was you surprised on Sunday when you saw Lowton was starting?
No,
not
at all.
So
I thought he was in danger for the Everton game.
Yeah, we'd said it a couple of weeks ago that we felt there was a murmuring that Lowton's getting close.
And then he had a mare against Richarlison. He brought Lowton on. Lowton went straight through him, and Richarlison then retreated back into his shell, which is like, it was so easy.
Any love for Charlie Taylor then? If people are short?
He's another one of them where we've said it years gone by. He's not been consistent enough, and he hasn't again this year. Played a big part in 2 of the goals against Everton. And I don't think he actually got the final assist on any of them, but could have easily done with the positions he got himself in. He's the safest one for me if you were going to go there. I wouldn't be against him being, third, second choice on a bench or whatever. If he got a free hit, I think he starts both. I think he's, Peter still isn't back fit, so I think it's his shirt between now and the end of the season, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is you've obviously got players at Newcastle, even sort of Cedric at Arsenal, roundabouts the same price, aren't they?
Yeah.
But then it's because of those players. I think probably if people do want Pope, makes it affordable to go for Pope if that's what people want to do. Are you free hitting, Jack?
No, I'm saving it.
Yourself, Matt?
No, I don't have one.
This went well. What Burnley assets you got, Jack?
Just Weghorst.
Keeping him?
Yeah.
Starting him?
Yep.
Triple
captain him. No, mate.
What's the plan? I mean, have you got wild card left and you're looking to move, or?
Yeah, I've got wild card bench boost and free hit.
Fine. Any thought of holding on for him?
Ask me again in a week.
Do you think you'll have any? I presume you're going to wild card at either 34 or 35. Do you think you'll have any Burnley players on that wild card?
I don't know if I can do it to myself. I think I'd rather just stay clear and just go elsewhere.
I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame you at all. I think if you're bench boosting 36, you'll probably be complete without. If you're looking at bench boost 37, then I think I think bench boost to 37. Honestly, you look at wild card in 34, Wolves, Watford. You could potentially bench against Villa 36, bearing in mind it's just a single, then double, then Newcastle final day. Yeah, you can have some interest in that, I think.
And I think we are going to need to pick up points. So we're going to chuck ourselves at games and hopefully try and score as many as we can. So I think he's one. I can see him staying in a lot of people's teams just purely because the way some of the fixtures work, or if people haven't got chips. I think he's just become frustrating the last few weeks because you've not wanted to know when to jump off him. Yeah. So the fixtures were just too good.
And Matt, what Saints players you got, Matt?
Broja and Livramento.
And I presume you're going to start them both.
Yeah.
You're saying you're worried about Tino, though?
Yeah, I've got to start him because...
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He's got a deadly, cross on him.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have, just trying to think about it, I think him particularly, you'd have to start him. You'd have to go with it. What's your plan with them two going forward?
I think, like you guys, I've still got wild cards, so I plan wild card 34, 35, and I'll have no Saints players. I'm done.
Okay, cool. I've clarified that. There's a reason why you two probably won't be back on again this season. By the way, Matt, while we're at it, we've obviously mentioned Sean Dyche. Does Hassan Hootel intentionally have a shit period like this every season just so he doesn't get poached? Is that what it is?
Honestly, it seems like that. It's crazy.
Really bizarre. Right, let's go on. Finally, Jack, would you any Burnley if you were free hitting?
Weghorst, maybe Pope, maybe Taylor, but probably would have just be the one in Weghorst.
You'd still go with him?
I don't know. I think for how much pain he's caused me in the last few weeks, both on and off the pitch, probably not. But I can see the logic in there. I fancy us picking up. I think it might be a good couple of weeks for us. So,
okay,
why not?
That's promising. Matt, any Saints for you if you were free hitting this week?
I'd probably have Prowse in there. Obviously pens and free kicks. And if you were struggling for cash, I'd go Broja, but I'd be surprised if many people are.
I did a draft free hit for our advanced tier patrons, and I had one player from your two teams in it, and that was Che Adams, actually. It would probably be affordable by the way it was going, the way I'd be looking at it. And I think, there's a possible growing trend. People looking at going Weghorst to Wood and possibly having second thoughts and going, oh, actually, Adams is quite consistent. And for those without the chips, we mentioned Saints games afterwards as well.
Yep.
Where you could definitely run him through. Okay, let's do predictions, guys. Jack, firstly, West Ham away on Sunday.
1-1.
Like it. Matt, Arsenal Saturday.
3-1 Arsenal.
You're a letdown, aren't you? And the game next Thursday, Jack.
Do you want me to be optimistic or pessimistic?
I want you to go with what you honestly believe.
1-0 Burnley.
Matt?
Got down 1-1. I think it'll be a tough game.
Oh, this is interesting because I'm going to land very similar to you guys. I fancied you get something actually on Sunday, Jack. I think West Ham mentality-wise, they come up a bit short against you. Yeah, I can see that maybe. I could see that being 1-1. I'd probably say, Matt, for Arsenal, I think, 3-1. It's one of the ones I've been looking at Arsenal's run for a while and thinking, I tell you what, Saints could. I just hope, obviously, you react properly and give them a proper game. I think it can go. It could go either way, couldn't it? I mean, you have responded very well to some of these batterings in the past.
Oh yeah, the last 9-0 and responded and played very well for 4 or 5 games.
You haven't responded very well to the battering you got at Villa Park, which is concerning. So I think 3-1 Arsenal, and I think next Thursday we'll probably walk into must-win territory, Jack. But I'm going to go 1-1 as well. I think I don't think 2 points would be a disaster for you, particularly if Leicester win at Everton, Jack. You're not done yet, mate. There's games there that's winnable, but I wouldn't be surprised.
We just keep having that hope that kills us. We're just not shit enough to be like, right, that's it, we're done. But we're not good enough to be like, right, okay, there's something on here. It's just slap bang in the middle.
Matt comes on here like he's hormonal. He's either really happy or depressed. Every time we see him, it's different, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, well, I wish you both luck, particularly obviously for yourself, Jack, in the fight to stay up.
Yeah.
Matt, enjoy the beach. Where can everyone follow you on the Bird app, Jack?
Yeah, at Turfy Topper on Twitter.
Good man. And thanks so much for stepping in at short notice,
no
mate.
worries.
Really appreciate that. And Matt, where can they follow you?
At CS_wipeout.
Good stuff. Plug the podcast, please, mate.
Co-host of the Season Keepers pod, doing an FPL and Sky podcast every week. I'll try to.
Good man. As we've learned, Burnley and Southampton assets are probably not season keepers. Next week's clash of the correspondents could change, but it's penciled in to be Chelsea versus West Ham with rotation FPL and FPL_Sky Addict. That's penciled in for next Thursday for you. I'll be streaming on YouTube 10 a.m. is the plan on Friday, so I can spend some time with the family on Good Friday. But just leaves me to say thanks again to Jack and to Matt. Good luck this weekend, guys. Cue music, please, man child.